What is up, group? I didn't make a video last night. I'm still smoke-free, but I did drink a little bit too much last night, and I'm a little bit hungover today. But no cigarettes, so all good. But I figured I should probably make a little video and talk a little bit before I go back into work today. So I worked last night, and I had had some anxiety about returning to work after spending the first few days of my quit at home, and I think that that was reasonable to be a little anxious because at work I did have new triggers that I was dealing with. There were a couple of those like panic moments where I thought, oh, I have enough time right now between tables to run outside, have a cigarette. Oh wait, no, I'm not a smoker. So I did have some like reconditioning. I guess at this point, everything in my life I'm learning to do as a non-smoker. That's pretty much where I'm at. Just plowing through different triggers, but ultimately when I was at home, I feel like it's a little bit easier because you can do anything that you want to do. You know, if when I was at work, you know, if I'm dealing with a trigger or a craving, I gotta work. Like I can't like go and watch a video about quitting smoking. I can't just like sit and go through my thoughts. I can't do what I want to do, and that's just the way the world is. So a good lesson learned there. I wanted to talk about kind of something interesting that I noticed that happened in my place, in my apartment building. So there are these two guys, buddies of mine, that were smokers. And we used to sit outside and smoke together, talk, whatever. And I mentioned Alan Carr's book to them a couple months ago. And one of the guys was like, you kidding me? It can't be that good. That book can't be that good. And I was like, listen, man, I read it. I thought it was amazing. And I quit for 3 years after that. Granted, I failed. I messed up after 3 years. And he was like, well, let me check it out. Looked on Amazon. And he was like, holy crap, it's got great ratings, great reviews. I'm going to buy it right now. So they bought 2 copies. The 2 guys each bought a copy. One of them was uninterested in it. And these guys are roommates. One of them was uninterested, and the other was like, all right, I'm going to read through this and see what this book has to offer. So he reads through it, and he quits. His buddy is like, well, if he's quitting, I'm going to quit too. So his buddy quits as well. Great for both of them. But from my perspective, one of them is way more prepared than the other one just by reading that book. And it's funny, I ran into them a couple days ago, and they're just a couple weeks ahead of me on their quit. But I saw the guy who didn't read the book, and I said, hey, you guys still quit? And he's like, yeah, except for one puff at this birthday party, but like, I realized on that puff, I hated it, and I'm like, no, I'm done. And while he's still quit after that puff, which was like probably a week before, and I don't know if the other guy also had a puff, but I'm willing to bet, having read the book, that he probably didn't. And that's the thing I wanted to bring up, is like him taking that puff and being like, oh, I hate this. I confirm I'm a non-smoker. That's like mistake 101. That is like the thing that Alan Carr says over and over and over if you read The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. He says, you know, you can't ever introduce that nicotine into your body again. Of course you're going to dislike it. I mean, it's nasty and it's poison, but that's not the reason why you were smoking it. You can't take a puff and go, oh, that's gross. Yeah, I must be cured. No, it never was not gross. But you just, by taking that puff, reintroduced nicotine into your system. And now, while you didn't go back and like smoke again right away, you've reintroduced it. You've started the pattern again. And I worry that a week from now you might try that again because you're convinced you don't like it anymore. Well, it doesn't matter what you think you like. the nicotine addiction doesn't care whether it tastes bad to you or whatnot. It's going to want to replace the nicotine. Anyway, one other thing that I wanted to talk about is my thought process so far. I'm dealing really well with this quit. I'm not having crazy cravings. I feel content with the fact that I will never have a cigarette ever again in my entire life. I do think about cigarettes. While it's easy, it's not the easiest thing in the world. And I have felt the challenges of it. I'm dealing with them well. But the one thought that has kind of saved me in every weak thought, I haven't had any real weak moments, but weak thoughts, I keep thinking to myself that as a smoker, I smoked to stop that feeling of needing nicotine. It's to satisfy the urge of the need for nicotine. And the one thought that has kept me really going on this quit is the fact that while I may have cravings and such, the act of smoking is just going to fix the problem for the moment, for maybe a half hour. But if I can get through this quit, that is going to cure that urge, that craving for good. If you give in, you're just going to keep having the urge. You're never going to satiate it by doing the act. But you can satiate the urge by stopping it entirely, by breaking the routine, by breaking the cycle. If you want to be in a position where you never want a cigarette ever again, quit. And you won't. And I can promise that. I've done it. I've quit long enough to know that there were times when I would think about a cigarette and go, when was the last time I even thought about a cigarette? Was it weeks ago? Was it months ago? You will undoubtedly get to a point where you won't even think about cigarettes. So, while it may not be the easiest thing in the world, buckle down. Get the nicotine out of your system. And this is for anyone out there, but for myself included, just to reestablish what I'm doing here. I'm happy to be quitting. And going through a hangover and not smoking is a new thing. I'm learning how to do that today. And I have to work tonight. I try to get rid of the shift, but I've been getting rid of so many shifts over the past couple weeks. I need to work. I need to go make money. In any case, I'm on day 6. I feel pretty damn good. I feel confident that I'm never going to smoke again. And it's fairly easy. There are cravings, there are challenges, but I feel really good. Oh, one last thing that was really funny. Last night at work, one of the managers is a smoker and often would bum cigarettes off me. And I was talking with a friend, and he came by and he was like, "Hey, can I grab a cigarette from you?" And I was like, "Oh, I quit." And I went back to my conversation. He was just like, "Oh, you suck. You shouldn't have done that." And walked away. And then came back and he was like, "I'm just joking. That's really good for you." But day 6, gosh, it's almost been a week. That's crazy to think. Really proud of myself. And if you are quitting, I'm proud of you. And if you are having trouble, I'm still proud of you. You can do it. I was talking in the comments with somebody who's been quitting as well, and they had a cigarette and they felt ashamed. Well, don't feel ashamed. I mean, you haven't done anything to anyone but yourself. But tackle it again. I said one of the things that sucks is I've tried to quit so many times, and every time that I've gone back to smoking, I always when I mess up, I reconfirm that I'm a smoker and just keep smoking again for months and sometimes years before trying to quit again. I say just jump back into it. Don't even take a day. Just say messed up, start again. and just try again right away. It's not worth wasting the time. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go get through this night waiting tables. Really don't feel like it. I'm really hungry and I don't have any food here. These are all things that we'll tackle later. All right, group. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day. And maybe I'll touch base tonight if I have any thoughts. If not, I'll definitely make a video tomorrow. All right, folks. Peace.